Yo, what up? Today I'm going to go over 3 banks that you must build with on your business funding journey to save thousands of dollars on interest. Now, why these 3? Because one of the little known hacks that you can leverage for powerful results, there's one that I'm going to talk about. Each of these banks that I'm about to go through allows you to do what's called a credit limit merge or a reallocation. Yep, that's the big news. Why should you care about this in the first place, and what does it mean? Well, there's a number of reasons why this is important, but let's start with the most critical. With the right strategy, you can effectively extend your 0% interest indefinitely, like permanently 0%. So you can leverage this strategy to obtain credit in one source and then convert it to another source, right? So for example, think about this. If I'm the bank and say I'm giving you a 0% interest credit card, I'm going to limit the amount that I give you on that. But if you're paying interest on the card from the get-go, then I will gladly give you more of a limit, right? That makes sense. So the bank is going to be making more from the beginning. So they're going to give you more of a limit on that card than the card that they're going to give you 0% on. So knowing that, we can actually flip it and leverage that by going for a non-0% interest card first, getting a high limit. And if you've been following this channel, then you know the exact things you need to do to structure yourself for funding. Then get the 0% card after that. And one example that we're going to go through, you can get multiple cards once you've established the relationship without a hard inquiry if you're using the right banks. So then you execute the reallocation of the limit from the first card to the 0% card and then close the first card. All right, so rewind. I know that was a lot. Let me say this again. So you get a card that does not have a 0% period and you get a higher limit on that. And then immediately you get a 0% card, which is probably going to have a lower limit, but then you just reallocate the limit from the higher limit card over to your 0%. Now you have a larger limit on that 0%, and then you can close the first card, right? Or you can do with it as you will, and then you can probably in certain cases reapply, right? So, okay, enough free game. Hopefully I didn't go over your head because that is super crazy, but enough free game for today. Let's get to the banks, right? So the first bank is Amex or American Express, right? As I mentioned, this is critical because it's a relationship bank. And once you're in the door, you can leverage multiple products and cards without additional hard inquiries, right? So this is like really, really powerful. One quick gem is that you can transfer limits from your personal cards over to other personal cards. Cool. But you can also transfer from personal cards over to business cards, right? Now, cool number 2. Cool number 3 is not only can you transfer from personal to business, but you can transfer between businesses that you're a part of, right? So I don't have time in this video to explain why that's so powerful, but keep in mind that there's a whole strategy behind leveraging multiple businesses to ensure each one is structured and ready for funding, right? So the only thing that you can't do in this is go from business over to personal. So just be prepared for that one-way street and you are good to go, right? Now, the other thing that you can't do is to transfer from a charge card that does not have a limit, right? One of those cards with a no preset limit. And I know what you were thinking. You were thinking, hey, let me get that Amex Platinum Unlimited and then transfer $1 million to a 0% Amex Blue card. No, 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 no. Now, I do like how you're thinking, so I appreciate that, but no. So just to add the cherry on the top, right? They allow you to do this limit reallocation directly from the online portal without much hassle at all. So just a brief example, and you could apply for the Delta and the Marriott cards from Amex, right? And get $25,000 each on 2 cards, and then transfer those limits over to a 0% Blue business card. So now you have those high limits that you got now on your 0% card, and do as you wish, use responsibly, right? So you can do 3 of these reallocations every 90 days, right? Super powerful. So bank number 2 is Chase, right? Now this may sound obvious, but there's a method to the madness, and the method for today is reallocation, and the results can be absolute madness in the best way. So Chase is a big dog, right? The big dog. But the fact that they allow limit mergers is a reason that you need them in your bag, along with the fact that they do give some of the highest limits around. So the difference with Chase is that you're restricted to mergers either on the personal side or on the business side, and it's within the same business. So you can't just go opening up LLCs and expect to merge into one mega card, right? So, but it is useful, again, on the personal side, if you have cards you want to merge the limits or do some things on the personal side, if that's where you are at your stage. Or if you have a business and you want to get a new card and things like that, then you can merge those on the business side. You just can't cross pollinate, right? So this does mean that with the right strategy and timing, you can achieve 0% interest indefinitely. And I've explained this before. So if you're not familiar with it, check out my other videos and you'll see that breakdown. So this means that it's not impossible to transfer a limit from a card, close that card, and then reapply for the card, right? It sounds crazy, but it's definitely possible and definitely happening, right? So remember that these limit transfers can only happen from your available balance. So you can't be maxed out on the card and expect to transfer the balance and the limit over to 0% suddenly. No. Again, I appreciate how you're thinking, but no. This is why you have to have your shifting accounts in place when you need them, lines of credit, your HELOCs, all the other things that I've talked about. And above all else, you need to do good business and generate cash flow, right? So that's the most important thing you can do. Invest in yourself, invest in mentorship, invest in information, invest in time savings by learning from someone else's mistakes, and get the cash flow going. All this credit stuff does not matter unless you have that straight, right? So just a little soapbox moment, right? So last but not least is the other big dog, right? And it's Bank of America. Right. So Bank of America, you can do this between business cards. Okay. So this is another plus and a bonus between business cards. And you don't get a nifty interface online to do this, but you just have to call the number on the card and speak to the business department and they can help you execute it. Right. So this one you can also do every 90 days. And I can tell you right now in this moment, I am poised with one of my Bank of America cards to have a zero balance, right? So everything's paid off on that particular card so that when I apply for a new card, and I can do that with a few different LLCs at the same time, but that's a different video, I'll be able to transfer the limit over to the 0% card, the new card, right? And leverage this amount to benefit some of my other debts. And this is all part of the master strategies, like we're playing chess out here at that level. So I hope you're hearing what I'm saying and understanding just how powerful this can be. If you're enjoying this content, then please hit like, drop a comment, any questions, and definitely subscribe for more content and support this channel, right? So now you can execute some of these things on your own, right? But just like with anything else, you can save significant time and headache by working with someone who studies this information regularly and can put together a plan specifically for you, right? So shameless plug, that is something that I do for people. And I also know people that I will recommend or companies that I'll recommend. And I pride myself in just pointing people in the right direction for whatever is a good fit for you, right? So either way, regardless of what you do, keep on pushing for freedom, right? Life is not promised. This is like literally your time, as cliche as you want to be, but this is your time to keep pushing forward and to get this information and to execute on it, right? So keep pushing for freedom, and I will see you in the next one.